A few days before she disappeared, Jennifer Kassie was on vacation with her boyfriend in the Virgin Islands. When she returned, she worked her first day off and, as usual, was home around 18:00. In the evening, she made several calls to family and friends. The last call was to her boyfriend around 22:00. They always called each other in the morning and evening. But this call was the last. No one else has heard or seen Jennifer for more than 13 years. The next morning, Jen had to go back to work. As a rule, by 7:30, she was already at the workplace. The girl lived in an unfinished residential complex, where many apartments were not yet inhabited, but they were temporarily occupied by workers who built this complex. By the way, many of them were illegal immigrants from Mexico. And Jennifer often complained to her parents that these builders made vulgar jokes in her direction when she passed by. But according to these workers, Jennifer didn't leave the house that morning. The girl's boyfriend Rob, as usual, called her on the way to work in the morning, but Jen did not answer. It was the first time she hadn't answered his call. After the meeting at work, which ended at 9 o'clock, Rob called Jen again, but there was no response. And the young man began to worry, because this behavior was uncharacteristic of Jennifer. On this day, the girl did not appear at work. Colleagues were concerned about her absence and tried to call the girl, but nothing came of it. The management then contacts her parents and explains that Jen didn't show up for work. Parents who lived 1.5 hours from their daughter's house go to check on her. Around 15:00, they go to their daughter's apartment, but there is no one there. They notice a few work items on the bed, a wet towel, a hair dryer, and toiletries left in the sink. It looks like the girl was going to work. Jennifer's car was also missing from the parking lot. There were no signs of forced entry into the apartment or signs of a struggle. However, her wallet, keys, cell phone, and iPod, which she always kept with her, were gone. Jen's family said they found a men's hoodie in the laundry basket that didn't belong to anyone the girl might have known. But for some reason, the police never bothered to check her for DNA. Detectives checked the credit card and pinged the phone of the missing woman, but found no activity. There were no clues, and the girl seemed to disappear into thin air. But a couple of days later, something happened that made everyone's heads ache for years to come. A black Chevrolet Malibu was found, a car that belonged to the missing girl. It was parked in the parking lot of an apartment building, a few kilometers from where Jennifer lived. Investigators are confiscating surveillance footage that reveals that around noon, the day Jen went missing, some unknown person parked her car in an apartment complex located just 2 kilometers from where the girl lived. The man got out of the car and, without looking back, went in an unknown direction. This person was recorded by another security camera. But the most interesting thing is that this camera records at a frequency of 1 frame per second. That is, it takes a picture every second. And what was the surprise of the investigators when they found that all 3 of the images taken did not show the person's face? Because the time when the camera took each picture coincided with the moments when the person was behind the fence posts along which he was walking. Just some fabulous luck for him. As a result, the identity of the man could not be established. There was no sign of blood or struggle in the abandoned car. Jennifer's DVD player was found in the back seat. The front seat was pushed back. According to the missing girl's boyfriend, she never drove like this. The police dog immediately picked up the trail and led investigators from the car right to the door of the apartment where Jen lived. But her path did not pass through the front entrance, but through the fence on the back of the apartment complex. About 1,500 people were involved in the search for Jennifer. They searched the entire surrounding area near the girl's house, as well as the forest behind the apartment complex and the area near the abandoned car. But in spite of all their efforts, they found nothing. In May 2007, the company where Jennifer worked offered a reward of $1 million for providing information about the girl's whereabouts, with the condition that she must be alive. After 2 years, a strange find appears in the case of the disappearance. A young couple who were walking their dog found a pepper spray case with a mailbox key attached to it. The police found that this key is from Jennifer's mailbox, and the case from pepper spray, which was given to her by her parents when the girl began to live separately from them. So what happened to 24-year-old Jen? There are several theories. 1. Some believe that her boyfriend may have been involved, but the police checked his alibi, and it turned out that it was definitely not him. 2. Also under suspicion was her ex-boyfriend, who was just drinking that night in a bar, 8 kilometers from Jennifer's house. But his alibi was also ironclad. 3. Another unofficial suspect was a work colleague. According to the company's employees, he liked Jen very much. Although this guy was married, he was constantly paying attention to Jennifer and was angry when she talked about her boyfriend. In addition, on the day of the girl's disappearance, he did not arrive at work until midday and looked agitated. 4. According to the fourth theory, Jennifer could have been raped and then killed by workers who were building the apartment complex where the girl lived. After all, they constantly annoyed her with their vulgar comments. Besides, it would have been easy for them to hide the body at the construction site. But unfortunately, we may never know what really happened to Jennifer Kassie. Write in the comments where, in your opinion, this girl disappeared. And also put a like and subscribe to the channel so that in the future, do not miss such stories.